Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and today we're looking at a Solgaleo Lunala Mewtwo list. It's an archetype that somehow we've still not got around to looking at and chatting about, and we thought it's worth a go, especially right now because Wobbuffet is a really useful tool in the format right now because of the amount of Decidueye around. It could potentially breathe a breath of life into this archetype that was pretty hyped going into Sun and Moon, but really hasn't done much since. So let's have a look at how we've built the list and how we're going to try and make it run. So first of all, we should look at the Stage 2 line in here. We're playing 4 Cosmogs. We just want to have access to it as quickly as possible. Our whole strategy is based around both of our Stage 2 Pokemon, so got to access this in combination with 2 Level and 4 Ultra. We should see these pretty frequently. Also 2 Cosmoems, 90 HP, Stage 1, which also we can search out via the level ball, which is handy. And we like having 2 because item lock is a thing right now. Even though we have Wobbuffet, which can turn off the Vileplume, it's still important to have the Stage 1, especially because we try and get multiple Stage 2s up, and we're not actually playing 4 rare candies, we're only playing 3 in this list. Going via the Cosmoem route at some points in the game is very viable. Then we have the 2-2 split of the Solgaleo and the Lunala GXs. This one has 250 HP, metal typing is okay, its ability is still fantastic, Ultra Road. Once during a turn you may switch this Pokemon, switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench. Very good stuff. It just means that you can move in between your attackers throughout the game, as long as you have your abilities up, which is cool. Bear in mind as well that Wobbuffet turns off Solgaleo, so you do have to be careful with that, because we're playing both in here, but really it's just helpful for moving between our attackers. We do like to be flexible moving between, because we're also able to move our energies with Lunala, so the total combination is just really cool when it's all set up. We will be using Solgaleo GX a lot of the time in this deck as our acceleration, so for 1 metal, which we don't actually play in the list, we just play 4 rainbows. It allows us to search a deck for up to 5 energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you'd like, then shuffle your deck afterwards. This is absolutely amazing acceleration. Whenever you get this going, your board state increases like really rapidly. So the whole idea of this deck is to take hits on some of these high HP Pokemon like Solgaleo and Lunala, and Mewtwo as well with damage change also has some good tanking potential. And the idea is just to flood the board of energy and don't let it really falter from then on. You just keep a strong board state after you've gone for the Soul Burst, which is very cool. One reason we are playing the Solgaleo in general, outside of this acceleration, is Sunsteel Strike. It does 230, discarding all energy from him. You have to get rid of 2 of your rainbows and a colorless as well, all to do 230. But that's really big amount of damage, so you just KO anything in your path. Great for the end game situation, or just dealing with one big attacker that is sort of overwhelming your board. So Solgaleo is fantastic in here. Otherwise, this deck would really struggle against the likes of things like Mega Rayquaza, also things just like Mega Mewtwo and Yveltal, which can just build up enough energy to KO your dudes, is pretty grim. So being able to simply blow them up with Solgaleo is fantastic. That's why we're playing him rather than just playing something like pure Psychic Energy and Elixirs, which I've seen before with Mewtwo, but Solgaleo just serves this purpose of being able to end the game a little bit quicker and also just deal with any big threat that you have to. So he does serve a pretty nice purpose in here. Next up we have the Lunala from the same evolution line, which is pretty cool. It again has 250 HP, so great tanking potential. Its ability is also fantastic. Psychic Transfer allows us to move our Psychic Energy between our Pokemon as much as we like during our turn. So we're moving around our active with the bench without having to pay retreat costs, and we're moving our energy around as well, so we can swap between attacking with Wobbuffet, to attacking with Mewtwo, to attacking with either Solgaleo or Lunala, pretty much any turn, as long as we have our abilities up. So when you're actually able to develop these 2 Pokemon, your board state is really, really strong. And yeah, he also has the Lunafall GX attack, knocking out one of your opponent's basic Pokemon that isn't a GX. Like I say, we do use Solgaleo's GX attack more often than not. So it's rare you'll ever be able to use this, but if you've not needed to use Solgaleo, for example, if you're sat behind Wobbuffet and you've just had a slow few turns, you do have the option to Lunafall, and again, it can KO things like Yveltal EX very nicely. Bear in mind you are weak to Dark as well, so that's sometimes awkward for you. but it's just good to bear this in mind, although you will rarely use it. And Moongeist Beam is also an attack that you will, again, rarely use, but it's good to be aware of. For 4 Psychics, you do 120, and the defending Pokemon can't be healed during your opponent's next turn. There's not many things that go for healing approaches right now in the format, so it's not a huge factor. It's just the fact that you're 250 HP and you can just deal 120, and it's a safe place to put all your energies, basically, to tank at least one hit more often than not. So really, these two are in here. Well, the Lunala's mainly in here for the ability, but can also be an attacker, whereas Solgaleo's the opposite. His ability is nice, but it's all about the GX and the Sunsteel Strike. So they serve very different functions in here, but pretty much both of them look to get set up in every single game, which is cool. So once we've Soul Bursted and got a whole bunch of energy onto play, we're going to go for the Mewtwo EX without the Mega, which is a rare thing to see. A lot of people use Shrine of Memories to try and take advantage of damage change, but here it's like a core part of our strategy, switching all damage counters on this Pokemon with those on your opponent's active. So basically, if people can't one-hit KO Mewtwo, we do have 2 Fury Belts in here as well to complement its tank ability. Damage change is going to be really effective. You can Lysandre up things, like take a hit, Lysandre Shaymin, KO the Shaymin whilst healing yourself. That's really a big deal. But also, you have to bear in mind, because we're not the Mega Mewtwo, we can't really put as much pressure on. So Shatter Shot just deals 30 times the amount of Psychic Energy attached to this guy. So it's still okay. Normally we put like no more than 3 energy on him just in case he's able to get knocked out, unless we're going for, again, like a late game push to finish off the game. But Shatter Shot is usually looking for 2-hit KOs on things, and the idea being you can 2-shot. If they try to 2-shot into you, that just plays into your hands because you can Lysandre things and damage change, or simply damage change if they don't have counters on their active. So very good stuff, and it's also really beneficial for the strategy because we can finish things off with Lunala or even Wobbuffet, which is great at getting 2-hit KOs on things because of its attack Psychic Assault, doing for a Psychic and a Colourless 10 base, plus 10 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active. Again, it's not hugely relevant. You'll do it sometimes, but a lot of the time you don't want to sack any energies in this deck because they're pretty important, and the Solgaleo gets rid of a lot of energy anyway. So attaching energy and keeping it on the board is pretty important. So it's rare that you'll want to just bring up a Wobbuffet unless you really have to. So it's something to be aware of, but it's not often the best case scenario for you. But really, Wobbuffet's in here for his ability, as I mentioned earlier. As long as this Pokemon is in the active, each Pokemon in play, hand, and either player's discard pile have no abilities except for Psychic types. So fortunately, our Lunala still works, which is great. Solgaleo does not. But this is in here a lot of the time for Decidueye Plume, and also to some extent Volcanion not going absolutely crazy in the first couple of turns. So he's really cool. If you can find him, you can have a much better time against one of the best decks in format right now, which otherwise this deck would get slaughtered by. I mean, we're a stage 2, which means Decidueye feasts on the low HP Pokemon while we're not able to play cards like Rare Candy because of Vileplume. So that just means that we're actually able to play the game against that deck, so that's pretty important. And then we have one Shaymin EX to complement us with some draw power. You don't really have much bench space with this list, so we don't want to play multiple Shaymin, but just one I think is enough right now. For items, it's all pretty bare bones. One Super Rod to recycle our things. We have the 2 Level Ball. Again, I've already mentioned finding the Cosmogs and Cosmoems is very important. We have 3 Trainer's Mail, as well as 3 Rare Candy. Not the full 4, because really you can afford to get one of them slowly, if that makes sense. If you can build up a Cosmog into a Cosmoem, into a Lunala or Solgaleo, it's still fine. I think the one that you're more worried about getting is the Solgaleo in the early game, just to Soul Burst onto. So we still have a fairly high count, but we don't need the full 4, I don't feel. I've actually seen lists that just have 4 Cosmoem and 0 Candy, which I feel is a bit slow, but it just shows that this deck can play a slower game if need be. So we're happy with the 3 count. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker, the standard cards really. We are playing Parallel City. It serves a number of purposes in here. It's pretty important for helping out against Volcanion, so we can actually tank hits. Having a -20 reduction and attacking with things like Lunala is going to keep us out of range for a little bit. We can also Fury Belt up at Wobbuffet, which is hilarious. You can do the 120 poke, and then you can go into the Wob, tank a hit after KOing with Psychic Assault. It's really good stuff for you. So there are neat plays that you can do thanks to Parallelcity. It's also really going to help out against Rayquaza, which otherwise would just be one-hit KOing everything. Obviously, Solgaleo and Lunala can tank hits, but you can't really chain Sunsteel Strike too often. Maybe you do it once in the game and hope that Parallelcity gets you there for the majority of the time as well. You can also get rid of damaged Pokemon with your Parallel. You can get rid of the easy prizes from Shaymin and really force a difficult 6 prizes from the opponent. So it serves a good few purposes in here. Our supporter line is fairly basic. We're playing the 2 regular Lysandres, 3 Ns because we are slow and we want to cycle our hand, just the 3 Sycamore, and in the place of the 4th one, we're choosing to play Misty Determination, just for a little combo peacemaker, because we are a Stage 2 deck. Misty can grab either the Stage 2 that we need if we already have Candy in hand, or we can grab the Candy if we already have the Stage 2 or the Ball Search card in hand, etc. So rather than just the dump and draw from Sycamore, there's going to be these situations where you've got one of your 2 pieces, Misty can help you dig to find the other one. In a similar way, this serves similarly to Skylar, but I'm more happy with the Misty because it's slightly more versatile, and it's a Joe deck, so it's going to be playing Misty, of course. So, the 2 Fury Belts I've already mentioned. It makes cool plays for Wob, and also just makes Mewtwo a little bit more tanky. 3 Floatstone, even though we have the Solgaleo, is of course important because we have Wobbuffet, which shuts off our own Solgaleo, and other decks play Ability Lock as well. So we need this to help us switch around. The 3 Rainbows so that we can actually attack, sorry, the 4 Rainbows so we can actually attack with Solgaleo is important. And then just 7 Psychic on top of that to round out the energy cards. All pretty simple. There's a few things you could think about playing in the deck. Mega Mewtwo is going to be one of them. Even with just like 1 Spirit Link and like 1 Tech Mega Mewtwo, I think this is potentially fine. You could even try playing one without any Spirit Links, because Psych Infinity is just really good still. Puts a lot of pressure on. There's multiple lists that I've seen. There's some that just play like a 3-2 line of Mega Mewtwo and just go back to playing Shrine. I think that's pretty okay, but it is fairly clunky. That's the main reason I'm not playing it right now. But Psych Infinity is like a really good attack, especially when you can move the energy as you like. So it's something you could play around with. Right now I'm okay with how I like to play the deck, and I feel like it's a bit more consistent without any Megas in here. Oops, I'm typing in the wrong thing. Let's find the other Mewtwo that we could consider. It's going to be the... Oh, do I even have it? Whoops. Do I even have it in here? Let's find it. Ah, I keep adding cards. Where is this guy? Here he is. Energy Absorption, Mewtwo EX. There's a few Hammer-style decks out there right now, and although Solgaleo is really good for getting a big burst of energy on, we still can fall prey to things like Hammers and Flare Grunts. So having a tech 1 of Energy Absorption means that you never really care about those strategies anymore, and you can just overcome them with 1 simple tech. So if you are worried about things like Lapras or Umbreon, or a few other things like Houndoom Mill even, you could tech 1 Energy Absorption. Its other attacks are pretty trash, which is why I'm not playing it currently. But if you find the slot, I think this card is fine as well. This could even go in over the Super Rod, so bear that in mind. I actually don't think it's a bad option in the current format. It gives you a little bit of extra acceleration. I'm still typing in Pokemon. I'm all over the place today. Let's look at some trainer options. I've already mentioned earlier that you could just play Elixirs and no Solgaleo. You thin your Lunala line down to like a 2-1-2 or a 3-1-3, something like that, and you gain spaces that just gives you the slots to play full Psychic Energy and 4 Elixirs. It's more consistent, I feel, but you just become too weak to big 1-hit KO decks, and Solgaleo, I think, puts a shift in those aspects, so that's why we're not going that route. EXP share is pretty cool. Again, just as like a one-off, we are trying to tank a lot of the time with this deck, but there will be times when you just can't, and you have to sack Pokemon. So keeping EXP share means you keep an extra energy, and the whole deck functions off moving around your energy and taking full advantage of them, so pretty important. Max Potion as well could be a one-of, which I feel fits the deck nicely. I've already mentioned that you can move energy off, just like the old Aromatisse builds. You tank a hit, Max Potion, and then just reattach all those energy and carry on going. Damage Change is basically our Max Potion in here. That's the main reason why we're not, but it can be really helpful for keeping Lunala and Solgaleo nice and healthy throughout the game. Finally, Olympia may want to be thrown in here. We are already playing 3 Float Stones, but if you're super concerned about getting things trapped in the active, especially under Ability Lock, Olympia could be an option for you. Slightly slower, but it's also a little bit safer. So we will discard those changes, because I think I was adding random Mewtwo's all over the place. But we will jump into the ladder now and see how this deck functions. It's definitely a fun one. I think it's not really a top tier archetype, but once you get into this really powerful board state of 2 stage 2 set up, it's pretty difficult to beat. So it can cause issues for a few different lists. So we'll see how it plays out. Really, I was just looking back through the archive of our decks, and we hadn't profiled a Solgaleo Lunala, and I remember that being a hype deck when the set first came out, so I thought I may as well do one now, while we're still testing some other decks in the background. So we have a pretty decent hand here, to be honest. We start with a Cosmog, we have Floatstone, we have Ultra Ball. As long as our Shaymin isn't prized, we can cycle some cards here, and we look to be in fairly decent shape. And we're staring down a Tauros GX. It's really splashed into just a few decks right now. Maybe a Yveltal list. Maybe something like Umbreon, who knows. We'll have to see. See the Floatstone come down early. Trainer's Mail for Ultra Ball. Looks like they've got a similar hand to us. Ooh, getting rid of some fire energies. For a Hooper. Okay, so it's a Volk that plays Tauros, I guess. Volk's a fairly awkward matchup. We'll have to wait and see how this goes. Parallel is important. Yeah, it is just going to be a Volk. It's very rare for Volks to play Tauros, though. Huh. I wonder if they play Ninja Boy. Something to look out for this game. Going to see an attachment and just the N. Ending us out of our beastly hand. It's a bit of a shame. Okay, this is still workable. We can live with this. Going to see a Max Elixir. And it hits, going onto that same target. That's going to be ready to go next turn. It's pretty scary. Let's use another Elixir. And that is ready to go right now, in fact. So, very scary times for us. And just a pass. So, we're going to get our Cosmog army down as we've top deck another one. I'm actually going to play the Trainer's Mail here beforehand because that's much smarter. Let's grab ourselves the Fury Belt, and this Trainer's Mail has got to be pretty big here, otherwise we're in trouble. We find ourselves Ultra Ball, so that keeps us in it as long as we have our Shaymin in deck. I'm going to discard the rare candy here, because keeping the Fury Belt is pretty important against the Volcanion, and oh no, no, no. The worst has happened. We've prized our one copy of Shaymin. This is very bad news. So, where do we go from here? I think grabbing Wob is going to be important. And we are instantly in top deck mode, because we really have not much going for ourselves. Let's bench this, and I don't even think I attach this yet, because maybe next turn I'm attaching it to Wob if he just KOs the Cosmog. So, problems have occurred. Shaymin prized. We're sad. We'll see what we can do though. They go for the non-EX Volcanion. Getting a good old setup going here. They're going to attach the Baby Volk. If they can KO with this turn, it would be nutty. So that's 50. Okay, just for 50. So we've not been KO'd just yet, which is cool, but they are starting to power up more Volks, which is also really scary for us. Oh, we're saved. We're alive. Oh my goodness. Never punished. We can actually Soul Burst here. And although it's a Pokemon that's weak to fire, we need to just get our energy into play. It's just too important. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm also going to put the parallel down. I think I'm just going to discard one of our little nebbies. We're going to Soul Burst. Okay. So, let's see what they can do with this. We've got some good energies on the board, but Volk is still pretty nuts, so. They're debating their trainer's mail. Oh, they find Floatstone, so they can KO this turn. Guaranteed. If they don't have another attachment, it could be awkward for them. Choosing to steam up. Oh, they need to because of this. Yeah. Okay, so they've got an attachment in. And we know they have one for the following turn, so we're really in a lot of trouble here. There's no two ways about it. We're in a lot of trouble. Our hand is good at least, though. As long as we don't top deck our third candy, who knows what could happen. Free running the active. Just a 300 damage. Seems good. Let's go Mewtwo. Level ball's fine, we'll just grab ourselves Cosmoem. We'll take the Ultra Ball and hold it for next turn. Still going to play this down. I think I want to spread it over our dudes. And we'll just Shatter Shot. And we're praying. We're effectively 230 HP. They can, with steam ups, go 130, 160, 190, 210 with their full bench. They could find another Fury Belt to get there. So he needs to have Ranger in hand with 3 energy, or they need to find Switch card plus 4 energy, right? Because they need to attach as well, which they have done. A lot of the time, Volk's Switch card is Rope as well, so hopefully they're going to rope us and we can feed them a free Nebby. But we'll see here. Ooh, paying retreat is big. Wow, okay. We're not out of it yet, boys. That's incredible. They're actually going for the Lysandre on Cosmoem. That's a really, really weird play. They can do a 0 damage power heater because of the stadium. Oh my goodness, things have happened. Many things have happened here, guys. Are we back in this game? Is that what's happening right now? So, I think I'm Lysandering this and just doing 120 to it. They have 3 Volks on the board. So they can go 130, 160, 190, 220, down to 200 with the stadium. So I think we're in good shape. Let's do some transfers. I'm actually going to swap these over as well. It's not hugely important, but just safer this way. I'm going to do a cheeky Moongeist Beam, playing around the tech rough seas by stopping the heal. Obviously, I'm joking. But hey, we're doing stuff. We're doing stuff, guys. You can't deny that. Going to see a VS Seeker from the opponent. They're actually going to play an N, which looks awesome for us. Although we had a good Sycamore, it means we just have options now with this hand, I think. We get Floatstone, which is a pretty big deal. Is Misty in our discard pile? No, okay. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy on the board, 1 in the discard pile, 1 retrieval played. They still have quite a few energy in their deck. But these Volks are starting to get torn apart, which is cool. It's just going to be 110. That looks like what's happening. Oh my goodness. We've got candy as well off the top. That's just gross. We'll go Solgaleo because it can push us closer to the end game here. We're just going to go into, I think, Wobbuffet here. And we're going to start spreading some energies. Everything off Lunala, because it's damaged. And Wobbuffet's going to slap him about a bit, which is hilarious. Throwing Ability Lock means that they can't really, like... They can't even carry this Wob, which is just ridiculous. Without Fury, but they need Fury Belt and Replacement Stadium. They bench another Volk. Let's see what else they can do. If the answer's not much, we're in great shape here. Okay, they're going to go into Volk EX. Going to VS Seeker. They haven't played a Sycamore yet, so they've been pretty unfortunate with that regard. They do have the Lysandre though. It's going to be Solgaleo or Lunala, I wonder. Okay, they go for Lunala. They go for the Steam Up. So they do exact maths to one-hit KO us. 6, 9, 12... 15, 17. We go into our free retreater. So we have N, which is big. We're going to get rid of some of the dead weight in this hand. And then we'll play N. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. I mean, the good news is this Volk can't attack next turn unless they have like Ranger or Olympia or something. So I think we're still in decent shape. Just because all the energy is concentrated on the one attacker that can't attack. They've commit, I think, 3 float stones, or is it 2? 2 float stones so far. Ooh, they did well off that N. There's all their Sycamores that they've not been playing. This is where they need to find some like ropes and other shenanigans. They have to be very careful as well. They need to play. They need to do their steam ups before they play things like rope, because I can just feed them Wob. They actually find Skyfield now. Finally, a replacement stadium. That stadium's playing work for us, I feel. Here's an Elixir, which whiffs. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they've gone through 10 energy. It's not hugely likely. Especially if they have 1 or 2 in hand. What else can they do here? There's the rope. So they roped pre-steam up. So either they have, yeah, we have to do this. We have the Lysandre. So I think we're in good shape still. Just about. Somehow Wob is getting us there. Second rope. We just go back into this guy, right? They're probably just lowering their hand size for a Shaymin EX. Well, double rope means he can attack, right? So. They're in an awkward spot. I think they need to power heater here. Okay, they're going to be Ultra Balling for Shaymin. They've not played any yet, so they're going to be digging. Need to find themselves some like energy retrievals. They could win this turn. If energy retrievals go their way. Let's see if they've won or not. Basically. They are going to retreat. Uh-oh. And just Volcanic Heat for 130. That's fine. So, do we just Ultra Road the Wobbin, KO, and N? I think that's our best line, right? Alternative is to Lysandre KO with a damage change. KO like the Shaymin. But I want to limit their hand size. So we're going to attack with the Wob here. We're going to parallel ourselves here. Because they can't get rid of, like, if they get rid of the Shaymin, that's just as, like, the Shaymin, the Hooper, and this guy will have effectively the same HP. So that's fine. Is Wob going to carry us the whole way and take all 6 of our prizes? This could be phenomenal. It's going to be Wob for the win, or nah? Let's find out. Before anything else, they need to Lysandre. They have to Lysandre us here. They still have 1 physical Lysandre and 2 VS Seekers. 3 cards. 16. Okay. With the parallel in play, they can't simply steam up, KO on this. So I think we're there, just about. Oh, okay. Stadium's gone. Stadium's gone. Things are happening. Let's find out. So much suspense. It's been a close game. Have we got there? Oh, he's leaving us in so much suspense. I can't believe it. Okay, Fisherman's their supporter. I think we win. Pretty sure that wins us the game. I can't see a way of us losing from here. Attachment to Volk EX and just Power Heater. Wow, we did it! We did it, boys! Hooray! Exact maths with the Fury Belt gets us there. 100 damage on it, which means 110 plus the 10 from Fury Belt. Huzzah! We did it, world. Well, that was pretty fun. Turns out Wobb's pretty good against Volcanion with a Fury Belt. The more you know. Okay, that was cool. I was pretty worried about that matchup. Bear in mind we did top deck and end very luckily. But it made it for some entertaining viewing. And it makes us that much closer to the precious Latios EX as well. Right, let's find another game. See what else we can come up against. And see how we fare. I think there was one turn that game where we had both Solgaleo and Lunala up. Yep. But we had each of them up at separate times, doing their own little things. We actually set up 2 Solgaleos that game. Fun times. Oh, the dream. Look at this hand. This hand is nuts. This hand is actually nuts. How nuts do I want it to be, though? Like, I could be Ultra Balling Shaymin here. I think we'll just lead Mewtwo. Just scout how nuts this hand can be. We're up against an Elixir deck. There's a few of those running around. Not much info, but we do get a nice little extra draw. And that's pretty important for a combo deck. Not leading Wob because we need to find Nebby as quickly as possible. And we need to find like 2 on turn 1 at least, I feel. So just Ultra Balling to find Shaymin to draw cards seems good. If it chooses not to be prized this game, that is. The opponent's taking their time on their lead Pokemons. But looks like they've chosen, and we can take our Mull. There's a Cosmoem, which we will hold for now. And Rainbow Force is a very scary deck for us. Okay. So, we've drawn into both our Cosmoems, which is hilarious. We're going to bench these dudes. I'm going to Ultra Ball these dudes. And we're going to scout. Shaymin is here. We've prized 1 Solgaleo and 1 Lunala and 1 Candy, so our odds are pretty slim here. Where are our parallels? They're both in here? Okay. So you're telling me there's a chance. Let's grab ourselves Shaybe. Let's attach to the bench. Let's set up for 4 cards, looking for some Nebbies. Get none of those, but we do have Ultra Ball. I'm just going to guarantee 1 now, and then play the end. Looking to freshen up this hand. Ugh, gross. I'm going to start playing some of these trainer smells just to try and find a level ball. Floatstone will take... Actually, yeah. Yep, Floatstone's fine. And there's a level ball, which is nice. Going to take it over the parallel because it's not really worth putting into play too proactively. And I think I'm just retreating to Wob here to try and pretend to slow them down as much as possible. Good first turn though. Good first turn. You got Energy, Fury Belt, double Cosmog. Our prizes kind of suck and our discard kind of sucked, but we can move past this. There's a workaround, I promise. I don't promise. We're in trouble. The worst thing is, it's going to take a while to knock out these guys, especially if they play like Fury Belts. Oh, Footstone's less scary for us. They're going to Shaymin for 3. Looks like Wob did its work, because they had to Lysandre as their first action. They're just going to retreat into Shaymin for an elixir. Interesting. Scary times. That's ready to go. Oh, if only we had Misty in the discard. So, if we're true believers, we would not attach, play the end, hope to get Candy, Solgaleo, Rainbow. But I'm not a true believer, especially because of our prizes. So, watch me get it all now and be super sad. We're good. We're good. And by good, I mean pass. So, this is where they have the opportunity to go nuts on us. There's an Umbreon EX. Ultra Ball, probably going to grab Hooper for the whole team. The whole gang. If not, just another Xerneas. Yep, there's Hooper. Here comes the crew. The Volk, the sometimes Genesect, sometimes Flygon. We'll see. We'll see how creative they're feeling. Sometimes Jolteon. Just the Genesect and the Shaymin. Seems reasonable to me. Maybe Volk's prized. That could be good for us. We can tank hits if Volk's prized, I think. Need to do numbers in my head. Numbers are hard. So, there's the Genesect and the Shaymin, drawing themselves 3 cards. So they have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 right now. In terms of damage. They of course play Skyfield though. So that will be ramping up higher, I'm certain of it. Go see the Olympia. And the attachment. This is actually pretty good news for us. No Skyfield, only one Xerneas set up. This is all good news. So we'll Ultra Ball first. And we have a 25 card deck looking at 8 outs. This is where you really wish it was a Skylar and you just have to kind of get lucky. Oh no. Okay. Are we taking N or are we taking Sycamore? It can't be Sycamore because we've got the Solgaleo in hand. Never lucky. Always punished. Are we going all in? I think we kind of are. Have to pressurize while we can. Even if they do go for the blowout KO, at least we can respond with a Shatter Shot. We can always reload energies with this guy if we ever get him set up. Damn it, Misty. Why aren't you Skylar? They do the cheeky shenanigans with Genesect, attaching the tool, then Sycamoring. Now he's going to be able to pick up the tool and put the Fury Belt over here. There's a Trainer's Mail for another Elixir. Oh, a couple of Trainer's Mails for an Ultra Ball. So they have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. They have 160 damage right now. They do have an Ultra Ball though. For Flygon, did we tank? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19. Oh my goodness, we're alive. Volk's prized, everyone. Bad news is, of course, we can't really damage change this. Or I guess we still could, right? It gets the KO. Interesting, interesting. Our other Fury Belt's gone, right? Yeah. So our tank potential just drops even further. Oh well, gotta end. Gotta keep trying to develop. Keep failing to develop. Boo. Do I still search out another Cosmog here? Don't think I do. Because we're not actually setting them up in the first place. We'll just damage change. It's not great. We heal for 90. But it's definitely not great. They just need DCE. We weren't able to find Parallel City either, which is pretty important. Here comes the Sycamore. Always lucky? Nah. They're really good odds. Here comes the drive change as well. Right. Top decks. Top deck Rainbow or Rare Candy. One time. Oh, we're still alive. That's incredible. Okay. Focus now. Still plenty more things that need to go right for us this turn. Still need to find this and Parallel, basically, off of 5 cards. Can we afford to not end them here? How many elixirs have they played? They've played 3. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not actually that... Like, we lose the game if we whiff Parallel or... Okay, I'm actually going to Sycamore here, I think. We lose the game if we whiff those, so I'm just not going to risk the end. Okay, we hit them both. Good news. We also have the Super Rod, which is also very good news because we can actually put energy back now. I think I just do all energy. Cha cha cha. We can Rainbow up. We can Parallel them. They've lost their Dragonite. They've not played Super Rod yet. They've only played 1 stadium so far. But we're forcing these things at least. And Volk could still be prized. So let's Soul Burst. Have to do this. We have to go all in now. Three, 4, 5. So we're setting ourselves up to guarantee a KO on this guy. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Actually, this doesn't even guarantee because we don't have Fury Belt. Awkward. Okay, we're just hoping. We're just hoping we can survive. Okay, they can Super Roll back Dragonite and a couple other dudes. We're technically not out of this game yet. Technically. Okay, they're going to grab a few Pokemons. There's the instant response of Skyfield. Let's see how nutty their hand goes. There's an Elixir, there's an Ultra Ball. Okay, pretty nutty. Pretty nutty. They can Ultra Ball the Dragonite. Dragonite gets them Hooper, which gets them the other 2 EXs and also the other Shaymin. So there's the Wombo combo happening in front of our very eyes. They have 3, 6, 9, 12 with Dragonite, 15 with Hooper, 18 with Flygon, 19, 20 with the Fury Belt. So if they prized Volk, I think we're still alive. $12, 15, 18. Unless there's an EX Pokemon in their deck that's a different type that's not an EX Pokemon, I think we're okay. They have Lysandre, so they can just KO this. Okay, that's really bad for us. But we're still alive. We're still in this. I'm thinking this turn we Lysandre this, KO with Lunala, and then tank a hit, and then win the game next turn. I mean, we always do this, right? This always happens. If we Sunsteel Strike, we have a lot of turns to go where we can't really do much. We have 6 energy. We have too many energy in the discard. We can't do it. We just have to hope they don't have Lysandre for game. They need to not have one of their VS Seekers in their massive hand. It's the only line I can see that wins us this game, unfortunately. So we'll still play it out, but I think like the Sunsteel Strike is safer, but we never actually win the game via this route. This way wins us the game a small percentage of the time, but it's better than just taking the one prize to look cool and still just ultimately always lose the game. So we're going to take the prize, hope they don't have a VS Seeker, and that's all we can really do here. I mean, although we're 4 prizes down, we were 1 attacker away from winning this game, I feel. If they don't have Lysandre, we can still win. But, like, when don't they have Lysandre in a hand that size? They have 2 VS Seekers left, 5-card deck, 1 prize remaining. I think they have it every single time. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 200. There it is. There it is, I'm afraid. Yeah, we were close though. Considering our early discards and whiffing our stage 2s for like 6 turns, that wasn't too... Like, that could have been close. That was still fairly close. The prizes may not show it, but the board state shows that that was a pretty close game. Anyway, we'll move on to our last game of the day. And we're up against Epic Blue Mage. With a water deck, it looked like. Hopefully it's not Quad Lapras, because we're not playing Energy Absorption. But who knows? We'll see. We shall see. What else is just pure water? Greninja. Greninja's pretty good for us. If they Shadow Stitch, they just don't have much damage. We'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Probably. Maybe. Okay, it's Quad Lapras. So we simply hold this hand, I feel. Do we play this? No, we don't play this. We just pass. And we say hello. Oh, they didn't collect. What? Madness. What is this madness? And I chose my pre-Ultra Ball because we could get candy and just get super lucky. Okay. Didn't happen. I'm actually going to not take the Ultra Ball to have better chances of drawing into the Ultra Ball from this Sycamore. We'll do it. No, we'll do it this way around. Yeah, okay. I don't mind a small bench size. Just get another Cosmog. Now we need something to put the energies onto that's safe. Oh, the dream. The dream has occurred. Going for lots of basic energy and keeping the rainbows in deck because it's so much easier for them to get rid of rainbow energy. Maybe they were happy to not collect because they had the Sycamore in hand. Maybe that's why they chose not to last turn. I'm going to see some elixirs. This one comes off. There's the switch. Fury Belt. Energy switch. We don't really care about Ice Beam because we can Ultra Road. But they go for it anyways. What's our retreat cost? 2. This leaves us a lot of energy, but we get rid of all of his threat, really. I can't just attack with Mewtwo because they can just KO with Blizzard Burn, so we attach here, Ultra Road into this guy. Just pay retreat and KO. This is at 230, right? Yeah. Kind of sucks that we're losing 5 energy in a turn. But it's fine, right? It's fine. It's tempo. The hand size is currently low as well. There's the Skull Grunt, getting rid of a Psychic. So 5, 6, 7 energy in our discard already. Oh, not another rare candy. I don't want to end. Okay, we'll just Shatter Shot for 60. Well, basically 30 of Rough Seas. There's a Water Energy from the opponent. They're going to heal. And they're going to play N for us, which is nice. There's a Crushing and a Collect. So while this Rough Seas is in play, I think it's not really worth keeping Mewtwo in the active, just to do like 60 pokes, because they play Flare Grunts and stuff. So we're just going to go down this route instead. I'm going to Ultra Ball for a Cosmoem, I think, here. And we're also going to Sycamore. Put our Stadium in for the sake of it. And we'll hold the rest of this hand, I feel. We could thin the Level Ball, I guess. That's okay to thin. Just pass. We still have Super Rod in our deck, which is going to be obviously important for getting back some of these energies that we've lost. Second energy to Lapras as VS Seeker for the N. And they're going to play N probably at some point. That point is now. Need to find a Fury Belt. What's happening here? No, they find Fury Belts all day. Easy. Easy peasy. And they're going to collect some cards. Here's Lunala. And we're going to set up as well. Let's transfer all of our energies onto a safe target and actually get an attack in this turn. Denying the heal is actually pretty good for us. So I have a supporter. Do I want to play N to limit their outs? No, it's not that strong. You can't be that. You need to keep track of your VS and stuff in this matchup. Here comes a Crushing Hammer. Gets tails, which is good for us. Another crushing. Heads this time. They're going for the basic energy, so they still have E-Hammer in deck, that tells me. Let's see the Lysandre. They're just going to deal with Solgaleo, because otherwise I can get to the end game much quicker, which makes a lot of sense. Let's promote Lunala. Misty for energy or Sycamore for energy? I'm actually going to Sycamore here because I also want to find Super Rod. Oh, no energy. That's rough. No switch card either. That's even worse. Okay, let's get some energy back quick. Now they used ice. They used Blizzard Burn, right? So we actually psychic transfer our energy off our active, because then we're safe from Team Flare Grunt. I'm going to attach this. We've gone through all of our candies and our Cosmoems, so we're not going to put down... Like, we can't develop Solgaleo, so we'll just pass. Let's see an attachment to the bench. Energy switch as well. And a switch. And a Sycamore as well. Interesting. There's their last crushing hammer. There's the enhanced hammer. Fury Belt as well. There's Rough Seas, which is annoying. And I'm going to see Collect. Am I really going to be a Seeker for a Misty here? Yes, yes I am. Thanks for asking. Just for a Psychic Energy. How sad is that? Sad state of affairs. There's a PCL, so all of our hard work is being undone before our very eyes. And here comes a Blizzard Burn. Top looking Wob sucks. If we lose Lunala, do we lose the game? Who knows? Let's end and try and find Floatstone. Oh hey, we did it. Let's get a Shatter Shot in. They're going to do the annoying heal stuffs. It's going to be a pay retreat turn potentially as well. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This probably pay 10 to 11 water energies, so maybe they don't have any remaining. Oh, they do. Gross! That's really gross. Flare Grunt also sucks. Oh, they just passed? Ooh, interesting. Let's carry on. Our damage is getting weaker and weaker. Now we see the retreat. That makes more sense. And we see the Blizzard Burn. That was pretty dumb. Maybe that lost them the game. They could still win though. Depends how many more grunts they have access to. There's a BS Seeker. It's almost definitely for Team Flare Grunt here. Yep. So our output is down to 70. We have one more energy in deck. They heal 30 each turn. It's going to be a real slow grind to see if we can take the last couple of prizes here. I don't think we can do it. Don't think we can get there, as sad as it is. You can see a Nest Ball as well. Let's not forget we've got to get for another Lapras. Oh, it's prized. Cool. Oh, I didn't top deck energy. I think we still have one in deck. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We play 11. I don't think it was prized. I think we put it back in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try our bestest. Okay, cool. It means we take the prize this turn, which is big. I still think they could grind us out though. They heal this turn. If they have a Flare Grunt this turn, we could still lose. Oh yes, just collect. The dream. Where's Kukui when you need it? Wait, does Wob win us the game? Oh, Wob's our last card in deck and it would win us the game. I don't know, because we can't retreat Mewtwo. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Do we end to try and limit their outs here? I think we just do it, right? Limit their chances of having Skull Grunt. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. So they have 50 HP remaining. They need to find like E-Hammer plus Flare Grunt. Oh no, not like this. Oh, Kukui, okay. Did we do it? I think we did it. Huzzah! Ooh, man, that was tense. That was a close game. Jeez, we had enough steam to get there, just about. Well, this deck's been impressing me. We've had some cool games. We beat a Volk fairly convincingly, to be honest. We lost to a Rainbow Force, which isn't that surprising for a setup deck like this. And we managed to scrape it out against a Lapras. That is pretty fortunate for us. I only saw one Flare Grunt in their whole list, and they had like 3 cards left in decks, so I think if it was more defensive, like other Lapras builds, I think mine plays 3 Flare. I think they win the game like instantly. We had that big turn where we Sunsteel Striked and retreated, so we lost 5 energy in a turn, and then they Skull Grunted us as well. But, you know, we got pretty lucky, and it was all okay in the end. And that's the moral of the story. So, if you guys like this deck, please leave a comment down below, and like this video if you did. Subscribe to the channel if it's your first time and you haven't already. And yeah, we'll be back with more videos on Monday. I don't know what we're doing yet, but I'll let you know on Monday, I guess. So thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Cheers.